live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs. It's the First Dibs podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
It's that time. Christmas time is here. Everybody knows there's not a better time of year. Hear that sleigh.
And I'm on. Welcome back to the First Dibs podcast from inside Casa Deisty's living room, where John is throwing a couple logs on the fire. So if everybody remembers, or if you've been watching this for a while, you know that last year we did a Christmas special from inside Deisty's living room, and he's been kind enough to welcome us back into his home. So thank you, John. Whatever.
Oh, God, thanks for coming. What's up with transporters and being late?
Well, yeah.
Isn't that the way it is?
Super. Yeah, that is the way it is. However, the second one that showed up tonight is actually about 12 hours early. So,
Well, then you should have left.
I could have.
Yeah.
But then
on January 1st, you'd need to.
Yeah.
We have people waiting and watching.
That's fantastic.
I hope.
Well,
No, we don't, but that's okay. Oh, we got somebody.
we got a security error.
Yeah. Why'd you do that? What's it say?
No, continue.
Okay,
Yeah, we're
there
going to
you go.
continue.
All right, we're on. I see us.
We're
All right.
breaching. We're
I think
breaching.
the fire's coming back because it's getting warm.
It's going to be toasty over
Yeah.
here.
Did you see the subtitle for the episode?
No, so I guess just to give people a quick behind the scenes is I walked in John's door like 6 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And we threw down some really awesome Thai food real quick.
Yeah, it's called cow soy.
Oh, it's very good.
Yeah,
it's
I like
quite
that too.
delicious. And then we sat down and started recording, and then we're going to finish dinner a little bit later.
Yep.
So we're doing this for you. So I apologize. We're a couple minutes late, but we're going to make it through this.
Okay. I think the internet might be working again.
Oh, good.
Anyway, welcome back to my house, everyone. Now the internet's not working again.
That's all right.
I didn't prepare anything, but luckily our producer Brendan did.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, do we have any new cars to talk about?
We had a truckload of new cars dropped off today. I don't know what's available.
Yeah, new stuff. Huh?
New. Oh, 2015 Turbo S Coupe
Yep.
and a 2016 Spider. Did we mention those already?
Yeah.
Oh, well, now they're actually on the
here.
lot. We got what was it? A 7. We already mentioned also the 7 Series. That 750 Li X-Drive, 2011 with 100,000 miles on it or something like that.
That looked nice. Looked like a limo.
Yeah. We'll see if that passes through inspection okay. And then a 95,000 mile ML350 that actually looks like a pretty nice car. So not quite sure. That's another one that has to pass through our inspection, all that kind of stuff, to see if we're actually going to let it go beyond our doors to the public. And then, yeah, outside of that, I can't think. Oh, we had a 2021 Carrera, night blue metallic over black Mojave beige interior, I think.
I think our internet's broken.
That's all right. We're recording,
Yeah.
so we'll just keep going.
I don't know if it's ever going to pick up, though. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do now.
That's right. So those are the cars that I can think about that we have that are super fresh, other than the new cars that just came in, like the new cars. Yeah.
This might be an audio episode.
Yeah, maybe. It's all right.
Well, then I guess let's just put this shit down. And who the fuck cares? You can have that back. It's not, I don't think it's doing anything.
I'll just sit here and watch
Yeah. What do you think of the year? Did you have a good year? Is there anything you want to highlight that you did or didn't do?
Work related?
No, it doesn't matter. Yeah. This is not a work podcast anymore because it's not going anywhere.
It's not working.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think year over, yeah, I think it was an okay year. It wasn't bad,
Supposedly, we set records.
I think as a company overall, and overall would include the body shop and power sports, all that kind of stuff. I think as an overall company. I don't know the actual numbers, but I've heard that. And I think in general, I think all of the businesses for us, so the Porsche dealership, the power sports dealership, and the body shops are actually okay. I mean, I think all three are doing well. And
That's good.
it probably might be a year, like maybe it's the first year where all three are doing well, So maybe that's where some of that comes from. But anyway, no, I did not break any records.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I wouldn't say I broke any. I kind of like stumbled over near one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So no, that was kind of interesting to hear.
What was the record year for you at the dealership? Was that the year we closed Eurocars?
Maybe.
Or was that the year we unloaded everything to Eurocars?
I don't know. That's a great question because I keep track, and I haven't looked back that far. But I want to say that it's kind of funny. It's either 2018 or 2019 was a great year when it comes to volume. But I can tell you that from a personal standpoint, 2019 is probably one of the worst years I've experienced in a very long time.
I think that's the year we inherited all of the cars from Eurocars. So we had a bunch of like stuff that didn't necessarily belong at the store.
Sure.
And, I don't know anything about the car business. But what it seems like to me is that there are ways to make money. There's a lot of different ways for a car dealership to be profitable. And like some of the some stores don't need to really make that much money on the unit because they're going to be charging 30% interest on the loans, and that's where they make their money.
Right.
Or whatever it is. And that's just not our model. So, we do make money on cars. That's what we are kind of modeled for. That's what I get paid for.
Right.
And so for us to have a car that, on paper made $1,000, to me, that's a loser.
Sure. Right.
So,
yeah, no, I mean, we talk about it once in a while. It's very transactional, right? Like you have to make transactions happen. And I don't want to say that necessarily have to go down like the Walmart route, as far as where it's just pure volume and nothing else.
Yep.
There has to be a balance of both, right? There does have to be some potential gross profit, in the front end of things. But there also has to be turn. You've got to turn your inventory. And for us at the dealership, we need to turn it several times a year, right? So that's where the transaction side of it happens. And so if you want to get into some numbers, like you as one individual sold 131 cars for the year 2024.
Yep.
And I think the next person in line sold 82. And then it was like 75 and
79, 72, 68.
Right. Yeah. So if I know this sounds really weird, but let's say if you continued, let's say you did 140 for 25.
Yep.
And then everyone would have to increase their output by, almost half, for some of them, right? But anyway, so if everyone was over, let's say everyone else was at least over 100 cars, even you, not just because of the different, let's back up. Let's say you sold the exact same amount. You sold 131.
Yep.
But everyone else bumped up to over 100 cars.
Yep.
You, as an individual, would feel an impact from that.
I think so too.
In a good way, like in a positive way.
Yeah.
Just because I know it goes back to the store in general, but when things are turning that quickly, it just has benefit.
Yeah, the market doesn't change. A car doesn't get scratched sitting on the lot.
Right.
Whatever it is. I would love to get to the point where we were. Somebody said he sees something. But anyway, you know, where cars were disappearing when they were still sitting in our bullpen,
Right.
and just go. That's when it's fun.
Yeah.
Because you gotta be on.
Yeah.
And lately, I feel off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when things slow down a little bit, because for the month of November, how many cars did you? Well, you actually scavenged a month.
Yep.
For November, you started off extremely slow, but then in the last
Ended
few
at
days,
8, I think.
and then December. I mean, how's December been for you as an individual?
I could sell another dozen cars and be okay.
Yeah, I'd like to see you do that too. But no, December is typically a decent month for the store, and this December, it seems like it started off, okay. I know that we talk about that there's a week of kind of nothing happening, and yeah, I mean there's definitely some truth to that. There's a couple more days of the month that were closed, but today it was quite active.
Yeah.
Right. And I think tomorrow is going to be even more so because it's actually Saturday.
And everybody's off school now.
Everybody's out of school.
Yep. This is the last push.
Yep. People are already starting to travel. Yeah. There's people that are, I mean, they're doing last minute, things. And I'm a firm believer, so I'm pretty sure there's science behind this, but spending money makes you happy.
Yeah.
Right. If you're able to spend, like, just in general, right?
I'm not good broke.
No.
Like, if I don't have money and I can't just willy-nilly do whatever I want with it, I don't do well.
So spending money makes you happier. There is a mental, thing, a psychological piece to that. And this time of year, we're spending a lot of money on other people, for things or doing things or events, to participate in stuff. And even though, I mean, when you look back at it later, like, oh man, why did I do that? But in the moment, you feel really good.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people, especially in our market, that they enjoy spending money, right, on their family and friends and coworkers. And then they decide, well, I should totally do something for myself, right? And that's where we can kind of come into play. And we reap the benefits of that. We get to have fun with them because it's it's a fun time.
Yeah.
We're certainly seeing that. And we're going to continue to see that through the rest of the year.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Me too. What was it? Just this morning, it was kind of starting off with, putting out some fires or, big headaches and all that kind of stuff. And it was just a little bit more so than usual. But, early on in the day, a quick reminder is like, hey, these are only headaches, here at work. My pickup starts up fine and I'm going to get home fine and I'll have a good night's sleep, and all that kind of stuff. You can, I can leave all that stuff, at the
You can
work table.
compartmentalize. Oh, Jesus Christ. My mouth and my brain just totally broke. Compartmentalize? Is that the right word? Did I finally find it?
Yeah, something,
you can put your work in a compartment.
Pretty much.
And you can eyes it and leave it there.
Leave it there. Yeah, for the
wow,
most part.
that we should put on as like an Instagram clip. John not being able to speak.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I can certainly do that because I was taught that a very long time ago when I became a service advisor.
Yeah.
I don't know what day it was. It's the second day, and I'm just absolutely getting my ass reamed, by probably 5 people, on my second day of work. And finally asked someone, like, how do you do this? How do you put up with this stuff? And his name was Mark. He says, well, there's 3 basic principles you got to remember. I didn't build it, I didn't buy it, and I didn't break it. Right?
Those are good.
He said, so yeah, I'm just going to get in my car and go home at the end of the day, and I'll come back and deal with the rest tomorrow. Well, once in a while, we do need kind of a reminder of that. I mean, obviously, we help out. That's the putting out fires, right? We help out where we can. But while I was walking through the lot with one of our vendors, and I just asked him, saying, "You guys keeping busy?" And he said, "Yeah, very similar type deal. He's got employees that are out of the office. He's got to not only pick up some of that, right, but so his workload is increased, and he also has to deal with some of the headaches or put out fires, right, when stuff pops up." And I just mentioned to him, saying like, "Well, if you're not putting out any fires at all, it means you're not doing anything. So I guess it's kind of a good thing, right?" So it's busy, and that's a good indicator of it that we got. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that's happening.
Well, good.
And what do we say? You know, I mean, where there's a problem, there's opportunity.
Yep.
Right? Help fix it. And yeah, create another, you know, even a better relationship, or yeah, create an opportunity out of it. But anyway, what else?
Do you want to help somebody shop for a car?
Yeah.
So Maximo is a friend of our friend Brendan with Shift.
Okay.
Also, thanks to those guys again
Yeah.
for coming out and for publishing us. That was really fun.
That's awesome.
If you haven't seen it yet, on Autoblog, our buddy Ryan Barkey has his first article
Nice.
published on another publication.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying. He wrote about the Peterson Museum. So that's
Oh,
kinda fun.
right. Mm-hmm.
But Maximo, first I'm going to give you some buyer's advice. Buy an iPhone. That's your first buyer's
You got the green
advice.
bubble, bro.
Yeah, there's a green bubble. That is, I don't know. I can't even really read the words, but we'll try to make it out. So he, I assume it's a he because it's Maximo, not Maxima.
Sure. Maximo.
Did you like Maximas? I thought those were wicked cars. The Nissans.
Oh yeah. You remember when they came out with that crazy dual sunroof that was
Ooh,
like,
I don't.
like longitudinal to the car?
That sounds
You know
sweet.
what I mean?
Yeah, I do, but I don't know that I've seen that. So like you had the passenger side sunroof and the driver's
Yeah,
side
that's
sunroof.
kind of what it was. Yeah.
It's like a T-top.
Yeah, but Nissans were always, to me, they were always the Japanese car with the more power,
Yeah,
just more stuff.
yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Well, anyway, Maximo. He's in the market for a 987 Boxster or Cayman. And as a cost-conscious buyer, what would you recommend? Looking at 987.1 or 987.2, how do you see him depreciating? And what would you look for to have something that held value the best?
06 Cayman S.
Yep.
Hands down. That's what I'd get.
Yeah, those are sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first one I ever drove. I think mine was a 7. But anyway, same car.
Same car. Mm-hmm.
I think I would try to find the best one I could. Because if you save money on buying a worse one, it's going to be more expensive in the long
Oh,
run.
totally.
So, you know, don't overextend yourself, but
So what's one of those cars on the high end? 30 grand?
yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Yeah, I think, you know, somewhere between $25,000, $30,000. Personal preference, preferably something not with the tan interior.
Yeah, I tend to agree, but I like the tan in those. I think it's a nice tan.
It is,
but
you
the
just
dash is tan.
You got to keep it clean.
Yeah.
It's a full tan interior.
Yeah, so here you could get. No, that's it. Let's see. Let's do some filter downing.
But yeah, 295 horsepower, 2,915 pounds.
Yep.
No, that's an awesome
Yeah,
car.
30 grand all day.
Mm-hmm. For a nice car.
Yeah, so you could spend 20 on one with 126,000 miles, or 26 on one with 50,000 miles.
Jeez, yeah.
So
Yeah.
pay up a little bit for it. I like that recommendation. I think in the searching for something nice, you know, different colors are always fun. I
Yeah.
wouldn't chase a color because then I think you buy a worse car if you just have to get one. But if there were two cars in front of you and one was funky and the other one wasn't, the
Right.
funky could be kind of fun. Manual, I think you have to do
Yeah, yeah.
to have it.
Because it was Tiptronic,
Yeah.
so manual.
I would look for up-to-date maintenance and tires and stuff like that,
For sure.
because it's just going to be a straight cost to you. And then I'd look for originality. You know, I think you could buy a modified one for less, but then the further out it gets, the more less it's worth
Right.
compared to the stock example. Full leather interiors
That would be
are nice to have.
Yeah, definitely not modified.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna run into the thing like the sticky buttons,
Sure.
right? But no, definitely not modified. Like even when it comes to the wheels, just
Yep.
a stock car, right? And
Mhm.
the service history doesn't have to necessarily be absolutely impeccable.
Yep.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, we're realists. If we could, stick to the factory maintenance level with everything,
Mhm.
that would be fantastic. And there are cars out there like that, but not a lot, right? I mean, people change the oil, once a year, or I mean, there were salespeople that didn't do great jobs, and they said, "Oh, you got to change your oil once every 10,000 miles," and then someone thinks like, "Oh, I only drive it 2,500 miles a year.
Yeah.
I'll change it every 5 years."
Yeah.
Right? It's like, well, no, you're leaving out kind of a pretty important piece there.
Mm-hmm.
And there are those cars, right, that are out there.
What do you think? What do you think about IMS bearing?
I wouldn't touch it. Well, no, you wouldn't have to worry about it. 2006,
Okay.
all updated stuff.
Yep.
The common things for that generation of Cayman S, catalytic converters. The inside, it's like a honeycomb type piece that's inside there. Well, it looks honeycomb, but it's actually a spiral. It's a flat corrugated piece of metal, and then it's wound in there instead of it an actual honeycomb. Well, anyway, that piece, that kind of like element, if you will, would crack loose.
Yep.
Just had these little tiny spot welds, right?
Sure.
Would crack loose and it would shift and it'd make contact with an oxygen sensor, and it'd cause a check engine light due to that, or it would buzz, something like that. That stuff has all been dealt with, by now. And then for whatever reason, I also remember we had a few where I think it was like throwout bearings of all things that were wonky. And again, that was really, really early on. So if you see something like that in a car's history, especially when it's in the first, few years of its life, that's not abnormal. Like that's not a reason to shy away from that car. The owner didn't do anything weird or whatever. It was a new car, right? They kind of figured out some things. But overall, and they were noisy, right? So the rear hatch, they had a service action for some of those cars where it was kind of a dumb service action, actually. They put this counterweight in the rear hatch. So you had to take the trim panel loose because the hatch would bounce. You would, at certain
remember that.
speeds, you'd cross over expansion joints, and you'd get this whop. I mean, like just this deafening noise, out of the back of the car. So they put this counterweight back there that sits on these like rubber bushings, if you will, is what's bolted there. And this counterweight was supposed to do the opposite, action of what the lid was doing. And so all that would happen, especially now at this point, is that bushing material is kind of really worn out. So now that counterweight's back there, whack, whack, hitting the shell, like the flap, or what am I thinking of? Dude,
The tailgate.
You're rubbing off on me here. I can't.
My words. You can't find your words.
So the tailgate, it would just smack the tailgate and make it even louder, right? And then kind of realizing you're sitting at the open end of the megaphone, right? When you're in the driver's seat. Yeah, any little noise that happens in the rear hatch area is just amplified, by the time it gets to you. But that's not that's not every second that you're driving the car. It's just certain situations. But it also makes for pretty awesome sound inside the cabin because the engine's in the car with you, right? I mean, it's in the cabin with you. And 2,915 pounds, 295 horsepower. Intake is right on your left side. It sounds great. You can push it around all day. I call them point and shoot cars because it's certainly not about what the car can do. It's about what you can do. You turn the wheel, you put your foot down, and that's what the car does. They're sweet, man.
Yep.
I like those.
I like them a lot too. What would you do to it once you had one?
What do you mean?
Like, would you put in a Porsche Classic communication module?
I think, you can do that in that car. You can do the PCCM Plus.
Yep. Would you lower it?
No.
Would you put in a short shift kit?
Sport shifter. I do a
Yeah.
sport shifter.
Okay, factory piece.
Factory.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like the aftermarkets. They're too
Did
stiff.
those have sport exhaust options?
Yeah. Yeah, both ways. Where if you put it in sport, they had sport chrono as an option, and so some of them, I'm pretty sure I remember. Some of them had a dedicated button for the exhaust, and some of them would just turn on with the sport.
Yeah, I didn't remember if that was the .2s that got the
I think
exhaust
the
button.
.2 got the button.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because sport exhaust in that first generation is actually controlled by the DME. It had to do with how much vacuum. So when it would go in and out of sport exhaust. So when you're idling, just kind of it'd rumble, right, when you're in sport mode. But then when you get up to about 15, 20 miles an hour, it'd go quiet. So when you're cruising, it's quiet. But then if you put your foot down, if you throttle, it loses vacuum. It makes the exhaust go back to noisy again.
What if you could get one of those things that Joe Walsh uses that he puts in his mouth when he's playing guitar, and you could play your exhaust through your mouth?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great car. I'm trying to think of what another option would be. Although he's looking specifically for
So I think, would you go to like a .2 with the DFI engine?
I would.
If you could, right?
If
But
I could.
how much more money do you think that is?
I think that you're starting to get 45 to 50,000.
I think that's probably about right. Let's look for a 9 or a 10.
Yeah. And then that's when PDK came out. I'd still do a manual though.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. So I had this discussion with a good client not that long ago, as far as he was kind of on the hunt for a Cayman R. And that was manual or PDK. I actually voted a Cayman R with the PDK. I went that route, and it's probably just from personal experience. Driving around Cayman, like a really nice Cayman R with the PDK. Man, that car is so impressive.
Look at that thing.
That's sweet. Look at that.
Good thing we're not up on YouTube, because we'd be advertising for another dealership.
Right.
Yeah, that's a $60,000 Cayman R PDK.
How many miles are on that thing?
That's 44,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
I mean, that doesn't sound bad. It's a super fun car. Super fun car. Very capable of doing just about whatever you want. Awful snow car. Definitely one of the worst snow cars
Okay,
I've ever
tell
been.
me that story.
It came in 2000, the .1 and .2 987 Caymans in general, second worst snow cars I've ever been in.
Okay. Because they're mid-engine, they're so nimble.
Yep.
It makes it so they swap ends.
Yes. Boxsters are actually slightly better, believe it or not. And the worst snow car I've ever driven in my life is a Jaguar S-Type.
Interesting.
Rear-wheel drive S-Type. Even with snow tires. Worst snow car I've ever been in. Unbelievably bad.
Did you crash?
No, thank goodness. You couldn't go anywhere. It didn't matter. If it was flat, forget it if there's any kind of grade, to the...
That happened to me in my Jetta.
Really?
Yeah. When I was first working at the dealership, I had a Jetta lease. We should get into the leases.
Sure.
It was like $149 a month, something like that. And it was the 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. The tires were nearing end of life. They were all seasons, and it snowed, and I was about to turn the thing in, but I had to get home, and I was climbing up Woodman here in Colorado Springs. Maybe no, it was Research, and I was finding that I had to have speed on the hills, otherwise the wheels were slipping by the time I get to the top, and so I had to time myself through lights, where I would slow down when they were red, and when I could see they were going to turn, I would floor it, and then just hope that the light didn't switch again.
That's awesome.
To be able to make it the whole way. So I don't know. Get better tires.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Leases.
Yeah. So I was listening to a podcast and I heard that you could lease a Fiat 500E
Right.
here in Colorado
Yep.
for free.
Yes. Right.
So it's the brand new 117 horsepower electric car. It has a 40 kilowatt battery, I think.
Okay.
It'll go about 150 miles on a charge. 2 doors, 4 seats. I haven't sat in one. I don't know if a kid would fit in the back seat with me driving or not. But I kind of want to drive a free car
Yeah.
because what I could do is I could turn in the Subaru, lease one of those for free, and then take the money that I was saving on the Subaru and I could do a Cayman R.
Right.
Or, well, I couldn't do a Cayman R, but I could maybe do a 100,000 mile Cayman. And I'd be money neutral.
Yeah. How much is the registration in Colorado for that car?
It's 2.25% of MSRP. So it's $700.
So I was watching someone kind of break down the math, and maybe they were doing, because it's 27 months.
Yep.
10,000 miles a year.
Yep.
You just got to pay the tax, right, on the credits.
Yep.
So they had it. They were saying that it would be right about $1,700 total.
Yep.
Is your total
Yeah.
cost, right? That doesn't include insurance,
Mm-hmm.
but that would be the tax that you pay and registration.
Yes.
So plus or minus maybe a couple $100, something like that.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's super crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I'm concerned, right, whenever I've had electric cars at home, charging them, I now granted, I mean, I didn't have an electric car at home for, several months, to kind of really pay attention to the electric bill. But when the Taycons first came out, Joe gave me one to start demoing with people in Denver. So I was charging one at home very often. And there's I mean, maybe I just don't pay attention, but I couldn't tell you a difference in my electric bill. I'm sure there was a little bit, but it's just wild.
I think they say if you drive 10,000 miles a year, it's kind of like another 3-person, another family of 3 moved in with you. So it'd be similar to...
You mean like using the hot water?
Yeah,
using
like the utilities. Exactly. Yeah. So not double your house bill, but just
Right.
adding 3 more people to
Right.
your nominal usage.
Yeah. Toilet paper,
Yeah.
paper towels.
All those things. All those things that cost energies.
Right.
Trying
Oh
to
my
see
gosh.
if CSU has a rate that they charge.
Yeah, did they go into detail? Well, it doesn't matter. But that's incredible.
Yeah, free.
Yeah.
I mean, a free car.
Mm-hmm.
How cool is that?
That's super crazy.
So,
And like you were talking about it, it's not coincidental. I mean, they've done this.
Yeah, so they did the math and they went out and bought more.
Right.
Because in Colorado, they get an extra $5,000 credit. So you can't do this in California or New York or whatever. It's specifically here to Colorado that there's, and other states probably too, but we have like this Goldilocks of tax credit situations that you don't get as the lessee, but the lessor takes them and applies them to your car for you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay.
And they call out the dealership, Larry H. Miller.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But even our own finance guy showed me a thing on TikTok or something. It was a video of somebody explaining it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
But it's real.
Yeah.
It's definitely there. And then, I mean, leases in general, I think that's helping people understand more about them, or at least bring them more to light, for more people.
The electric cars?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some great values out there where you can drive, in this case, a $30,000 car for free.
Yeah.
Maybe a $60,000 car for $200 or $300.
Because, I mean,
That's pretty great.
doing just kind of quick math in your head, if you're going to go out and buy a $35,000 car and finance it for 5 years. What's
Yeah.
your payment?
30 grand is like $400 a month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more.
It's a lot more.
It's a lot more.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of crazy to think about. And not to mention when you buy it, you're stuck with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got to deal with it.
Yeah, I like the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do it. You talked me out of it, but
Right.
I still might go sit in one. And if they could give me, so I think I've got like $3 grand in equity in my Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
If I could stretch that to like 5 or 6,
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know why I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, it'd save me. my insurance isn't actually as bad as I thought. It's $2 grand a year on the WRX.
Okay.
I thought it was like 5.
Okay.
So that's better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to save me as much. It saves me $30 a month in insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and then probably $100 a month in gas, and $500 a month in car payment.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
That's a lot.
$650.
Mm-hmm.
That's, and my whole thought was, the car is going to make me sad. Right?
Right.
For the first month, it's going to be great. It's going to be a new car. It's going to be a toy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll enjoy it. But then at some point, it's going to make me sad to drive this thing that is slow and, you know, small and has a crappy stereo and doesn't have heated seats and the kids don't really fit. You know, at some point, it's going to be aggravating. But what I thought is I could just take the cash for the monthly payment out and put it in my glove box.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then anytime I got sad, I would just take all the cash out and smell it and remember why it was a good
This
idea.
is why I do this.
And then put it back in the glove box.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought that could help.
Just don't let anyone know it's there.
Yeah. The good thing this isn't actually airing. But yeah, I thought that might be. I do want to go try one, but I don't really think I need to. I don't really want to waste a sales guy's time. Is the other side of it?
Sure,
Because,
yeah.
you know, you gotta. I don't want to burn his lead.
Right.
This guy that wants a free car.
Right.
And actually, he doesn't even want a free car. The free car isn't enough. You have to give me more on my trade that you're just buying. It's not even a trade.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah.
Did you lease the WRX or buy
No,
it?
I own it.
Oh, okay.
Well, the bank owns it, but I'm paying them.
Right.
I haven't missed a payment yet. And actually, I don't own it. Lauren
Oh, yeah.
does.
Okay.
That's how I keep her.
Oh, cool.
I own the Cayenne, and she has the WRX. So if she ever divorces me, I get to keep the Cayenne. She has to keep the WRX. Yeah.
Keep each other's
Remember that one, children. Not my children, the children watching the show.
right. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
What are you guys doing to get ready for Christmas? Are you all done?
Lauren did it all.
Awesome.
She is a champ and a trooper, and kind of like at work. Everybody does everything. I take all the credit. Same thing in the house.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Kids are out of school.
kids are out of school. I saw I don't know if it was, I think it was an Instagram thing of a guy cooking a prime rib. And rather than just salting and peppering everything and leaving the rib on it as it sits and roasting it, they took the rib off of it and then tied that to the rib cap. So you know how in a ribeye there's like the main part of the meat, then there's the fat, and then there's the cap that runs around it.
Yeah.
The cap always gets overcooked.
Yeah.
So what he did is he took the ribs and used them as an insulator
Nice.
for that rib cap.
Okay.
So the whole thing was just this delightful. He overcooked it a little bit, but a nice medium. And that made me think, prime rib.
That's cool.
I should probably remember how to make a prime rib.
I'm gonna smoke something, either a pork shoulder or a brisket or something.
Just gonna clip that. I'm gonna smoke something. This is Justin. I'm gonna smoke something.
Yep.
What do you think you want? Brisket?
I don't know. I let my mom decide. So my
Oh.
parents are actually coming down.
Nice.
They're coming into town because the kids are out of town.
Yeah. How great is that? You get to be the child again.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Do you have those pajamas that have like the butt flap? You know what I mean? Like the
Oh,
two
yeah,
buttons.
yeah. I
You,
do actually.
you should put those on and come down for Christmas, Christmas Day
Right.
in that, and sit like crisscross applesauce in front of the Christmas tree and ask where Santa is.
Right. Where's Santa?
Yeah.
Yep. That's
And
an
wake
idea.
them up at like 4 in the morning.
They're probably still up.
Yeah,
They're sitting
okay.
there staring at their iPads.
Well, there you go. Well, as soon as they go to bed, wake them up and try to figure out where Santa is.
Or my dad would be asleep. My mom's up. And then she'll sleep, for a little bit. But yeah, no, that's funny. That's a good question. But yeah, I do have some of those pajamas actually.
I think you should do that. Send us a picture.
Yeah, I'll think of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, kids are out of town for a little bit. They get back shortly after Christmas, so we'll do our Christmas the following weekend. I mean, my next week is a normal work week.
Yeah, I know.
Other than
No, it's totally normal because we take Wednesday off.
right,
Well, yeah, we might get to go home a little bit
maybe
early
we'll leave a little early on Tuesday,
on Tuesday. Maybe.
so I can get home.
If transport doesn't show up.
Right. I'll get home so
Yeah.
I could put whatever it is in the smoker because
Yeah.
I'm going to let that thing go, 160 degrees or whatever, for 14 hours.
Yeah. You should smoke a trout
I'm
or a
not,
salmon.
salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a big trout
Yeah, it's
person.
too oily and gross.
Mrs. Dicey's here.
Yeah.
She made a gross face. I agree. Yeah, and plus it's fish, like just fish in the smoke. I don't know. I like.
I think you have to cold smoke fish. I don't think you hot smoke it.
Yeah,
I think that happens too fast.
Hmm.
But you should still do it.
Try it sometime.
Smoked salmon? I love smoked salmon.
You turn it into a spread,
Sure. You could do that.
right? Yeah, I'm gonna be carving it up.
What about vegetables?
Smoked
Yeah,
vegetables.
like you should smoke a potato and a parsnip.
Have you seen those reels where people take potatoes and turn them into weed pipes?
I've never done that.
I'm not asking if you've done that. Have you seen the video? where
No,
people-
I have never done that. It wasn't an apple.
Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
Lewis is going to look it up. You just ruined his life.
Turning Lewis into a life of
Pothead.
yeah, turning into a pothead.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty good. Any plans for New Year's?
Yeah, I'll be working. Then I'm going to take my normal day off.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That should be pretty
Maybe
good.
let's pull a Nancy. Let's schedule the next. Well, it doesn't work that way because Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday, right? That's
Yeah.
why she scheduled.
Yeah.
She scheduled the next 5 years of Friday after Thanksgiving off in a row, which is awesome because
Yeah,
that
good for
says
her.
you're dedicated. You're
Yeah.
going to be around.
Planning ahead.
That's great. But I have to figure out how that works. Anyway, this next year, what are your plans for next year? What do you want to do next
This isn't the New Year's show. That's next week.
year? All right, whatever.
Yeah.
I gotta wait.
Sorry.
What did you ask for Christmas?
Oh,
Mrs. Dicey is making another face.
yeah. I don't think I really asked for anything other than a Fiat.
Yeah, Lewis asked for Hot Wheels.
Yep.
What did Isla ask for?
She wants like this rabbit that pops out of a hat.
Okay.
So another stuffed animal.
Ah.
If you haven't seen her stuffed animal collection, I would invite you upstairs to see how many more stuffed animals
Yeah.
she needs. She's been deprived as a child.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with Christmas because I don't really need anything. I could probably use some Viore pants.
What is that?
That's my workout pants, but it's not the Lululemon ones.
Oh yeah.
The Lululemon ones get stretched out
Yes.
and then they look kind of like your wallet sags. And it's like, yeah, look at that guy. What a dump. What
Right,
a
right.
what a used car salesman.
Right.
What does that guy do for a living? I bet he
Oversized
sells
suit.
he sells old cars. Yeah. No, that's exactly right. But the Viores stay tight. They keep it in check. So I could probably use some of those.
Unlike your white boxers.
Correct. I'll give you a pair. I have an unworn pair. They might fit you. Let's see what else. I always need shoes. Like every time I ruin my shoes. I go through probably 6 to 8 pairs of shoes a year.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and like trashed and gone because I wash cars in them. They turn colors and then they get a funk. And once they have the funk, you can't get rid of the funk no matter what you do.
Yep.
So there becomes a day where I smell them and I'm like, well,
Gotta go.
new shoes. So every time that happens, I think I should just bring some like rubber boots to work to wash cars in.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and I never do. So I just keep ruining shoes.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I would like a nice, probably 12 or 14 quart stock pot.
Wow.
That's like normal
That's
size.
normal,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you get it in a set, it's probably an 8.
Okay, yeah.
I would go probably 12 because I'd like to turn some chicken carcasses into stock and maybe
Right.
make some like crab bisque.
Oh,
Boil
wow.
down some crabs.
Sounds awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
Or collard greens, and you got to cook down. You got a lot. You got to start with a lot to get a little. Or like French onion soup.
Yeah.
If you're making French onion soup, do you make 4 quarts or would you make 12 quarts?
Yeah, make a lot.
Just make a lot because
Yeah.
then you don't have to do it again.
Yeah, it does seem the flavor's better when you make a lot.
Yeah. So that would be good. I don't know. That's about all I got.
What kind of
You know
cocktail
what-
goes with
You know what we
French
didn't
onion
do?
soup?
French onion soup. What would I drink? I would just have probably a vodka martini. Just something clean, slightly acidic to cut through some of the fat, but nothing too crazy or complicated.
Okay, so it's Christmas Eve,
Yep.
and it's Christmas Eve night. A couple friends are over. You're having a good time. You got some snacks like some hors d'oeuvres or whatever. What is your cocktail of choice for Christmas?
Akavit.
What is that?
It's a Norwegian liqueur that has to cross the equator twice on a ship. And well, I don't know if it has to, but the stuff we buy does. And on the inside label, it shows the ship it crossed on.
Really?
I have a bottle
Wow.
if you'd like to see it. But it's a Norwegian drink, and the only time we ever drink it is Christmas. And you like if you freeze it into a block of ice with like some Christmas trees and stuff like that. Here, check this out. Oh my God!
Wow.
I have one right here.
TV magic.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. It's like Liney.
Yeah,
Akavit.
yeah, pretty good.
Huh. Twice across the equator. It
Yep.
says it right there.
Exactly. And then if you look on the inside of the back of the bottle,
Yeah.
you can see the ship, and it even tells you the name and the crossing dates.
Interesting.
Isn't that cool?
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Crack that open and take a swig, or just a sniff. It's like it's very spicy and rye, and like fennel and stuff like that. Yeah, it's spicy, but that's
Yeah, it's almost cologne.
it could be. You could wear that. Yeah. But that's what we would do as a family is we have like itty bitty shot glasses. So they're like probably maybe a half ounce if you filled it all the way up.
All right.
And you just do a little nip of that.
Nice.
And then all of a sudden the bottle's gone and grandma's yelling at Uncle Jeff and, yeah.
That's awesome.
But this would be my cocktail. Or I think you could probably put a little bit of that in with gin or vodka and
wow.
stretch it so it's it's a very acquired taste. But
Almost
I think,
like the Malort.
yeah,
Yeah.
identical to the Malort. Yep. It's Norwegian Malort.
Norwegian Malort.
Yep. So
I can't think of the drink, but it was introduced to me a number of years ago, actually when I was in Minnesota one time.
Fernet.
This was a mixed.
Oh,
It was brandy with some kind of like a marshmallow type mix.
brandy marshmallow mix.
Well, but it's a specific. The marshmallow mix is,
Marshmallow fluff.
I think that's in it, but
Huh.
it's a. I mean, you can make it at home, but people buy it, right? Like it's a pre-made.
Is it a Tom and Jerry?
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
And it's hot. Like you heat it up.
Hot? No, Tom and Jerry's are cold.
They're cold.
Yeah, they're served like frozen, kind of.
Oh no. This was hot.
Hot buttered rum.
No. But it was. I remember the brandy, and I remember like the fluff kind of stuff.
I've never had one.
It was so good.
Sounds nice.
So good. And then it was, I think one of my sister's friends, Danny is her name, she heard that I liked that drink.
Mm-hmm.
So she learned how to make the mix stuff, like the fluff kind of stuff at home. And anyway, gave me a quart. And I thought, oh my gosh, like you use like a couple tablespoons, when you make a drink. This quart would last quite a while. A long time. But yeah, it's delicious. It's delicious.
Never heard of it.
I bet if you saw it, I'll try and find the mix actually. And then yeah, you should make some.
Okay.
It's really good. It's really good. But people have been talking about eggnog, using eggnog as their creamer in their coffee. And then the question is like, are you putting booze in that eggnog?
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched a little video clip of Martha Stewart making her family recipe eggnog. And yeah, it's just booze with some cream in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Elton Brown has one where he like ages it. And he like,
Wow.
it's weird. It's like egg yolks, nutmeg, and brandy, and just go put it in the shed for 7 months. And then you drink it. I know. I don't know. That's not.
I don't know. I like Alton Brown though.
Yeah.
That dude's awesome.
I agree. Good Eats. Good Eats is the reason I can cook. So, Maximo, if you don't know how to cook, this is the third tip I've got for you. Learning to cook is the best thing that you can do because if you like to eat, I like to eat, obviously. But to be able to make a steak or a pork chop and kind of understand that it doesn't take much, or to make soups or to make anything and make it taste good and understand why you get all this stuff. Get yourself a nice 12-inch stainless steel skillet, a nice set of tongs, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
And you can cook anything.
Right. Actually,
And then
Alton
watch
Brown
Good Eats.
is where I learned that Good Eats, that is where I learned that you can cook pork chops medium.
Yeah.
They don't have to be like cooked solid through.
I cooked them delightfully medium last night.
Yeah.
We have one left over if you'd like to try it.
Can I put hot sauce on it?
Yeah, actually, we could do that.
I'm on day 8.
Fucking Lauren ate it.
This is Dicey's already eating the poor job. I am on day 8 of my 12 days of hot sauce. And so before I leave, I have to put hot sauce on something.
Okay, we'll get you some more hot sauce.
I got the hot sauce.
Yeah, no, there's one you should try.
Oh, okay.
It's good.
So
Two
I gotta
of them.
say,
there's actually 2 you should try.
This gift pack that the kids got for me, it's awesome. It is awesome. Every hot sauce in it has been fantastic. I've been waiting for some crazy surprise, like where there's going to be some melt your face off. No, none of them are like that so far. They're just delicious. They definitely have some. The majority of them have some heat to them. But no, just really, really good. Like really good. There was one the other night that I had. It's a garlic hot sauce. Oh my goodness.
I think let's do a spin-off show
About hot sauce.
about hot sauce.
There's enough of it.
Yeah.
Be able to make another couple years of episodes.
Yeah.
Probably get more views.
How many more episodes do you think we have in us?
I don't know. Just keep going.
I guess.
So the driver that's going to pick up your client in Steamboat
Yes.
tomorrow, he was asking about it.
About hot sauce?
No, about our show. He said, he's like, you guys have been doing that for quite a while. I said, yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Thanks for watching, Joe.
and he says, he goes, man, it gets late, right? I mean, you got to get tired here too. Like, yeah, but we do this for fun.
Yeah. No, it's true.
It's cool.
It's definitely not for pay.
It's a different kind of energy.
Yeah. Technically, we pay to do this.
Right.
So you're welcome. But yeah. What else would we do on a Friday night?
Right. But I will keep going.
Okay, you got to go for another 5.5 minutes, and then we can hit stop.
We need some content.
Yeah. So I think we need to have Lewis come. He's been lounging on the couch, but I think we need to mic him up, headphone him up, and give him the equipment.
for sure.
so he can do that, because it's been kind of nice to not have to like
Absolutely.
play with anything on the show.
Yep.
So we'll do that.
Oh, you know what? We could get Lewis to record a new
Intro.
and even an outro piece.
Yeah, and
for
then
us, but you like playing the guitar.
oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good plan.
Yeah, I like it. You could come up with a jingle.
A little riff.
Yeah, riff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. First dibs. Party time.
Yep.
Woo, 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 woo.
That's pretty close. I think we could use it as an excuse to learn. I wish I was queer so I could get chicks.
Is that a song?
Yeah.
Oh.
You
Is
don't know
that like
one?
the whole title?
It's pretty much the whole song too. I'll play it for you after the show's over.
cool.
And
It's like what was that show called? Queer Eye for a Straight Guy?
Yeah.
That was a great show.
it was a great show. Mm-hmm.
They don't still make that show,
I
do
could
they?
probably do. I bet it's on.
It'd be on Bravo if it is.
Yeah. Yep. It was on Bravo.
Right.
Bravo was a great channel.
Yeah.
I don't watch it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened to it. There's a lot of TV stations and channels that went bust that I don't quite understand why.
Mm.
Like, does Discovery exist anymore?
Yeah, somewhere. Well, I don't know. That's a
I don't
great
think
question.
it does.
Maybe
I
not.
think it's been gobbled up by streaming.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, streaming. You can now watch Edith.
That is correct. This is how we're
On-
ending the show. We got all the way to 57 minutes before
Yeah,
mentioning.
you got to stay for the deep cuts, right? You never know when we're going to drop a nugget like Pat
Yeah.
Long crashed the Gunther work.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Edith.
Yeah.
Edith, the story about Porsche
Driving up a mountain.
driving up a volcano.
volcano.
Mm-hmm. Have you watched it?
I saw
Oh,
it
you saw the
at the premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please rub it in. Rub it
Yeah.
in.
Personally invited by an invite email.
But I did watch it the other night
Yeah.
on Amazon Prime.
Pretty epic movie.
It's very cool.
Right?
Absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah.
It is very, very cool. It's neat to know that that kind of stuff is happening, you know, behind the scenes. Actually, I mean, without even they talk about it, without even the CEO. He didn't even know anything about it.
Spoiler fucking alerts.
I'll just stop talking.
No, but it's not really a spoiler. But I really think that it was a really well done movie about a really cool thing that we were a part of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very directly. I changed a tire on the mountain. Yep.
And then I
No.
checked the torque.
Exactly. Exactly. Then Justin actually did it, and actually neither of us did, but we get to take the credit
Right.
because of a relationship built over decades,
Mm-hmm.
which is what's fun.
Yep. I love it.
So
I think it's super cool.
mhm.
I think it shows the commitment level that we are involved with Porsche, not just in our local community, but on a global scale.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it.
Do you think
it's
you could have
cool.
done it? Not drive the car.
No.
I know you could have done
No.
that. You don't think you could have walked?
No, I mean, everyone knows that Joe was there,
Yeah.
right? Because we've talked
Yeah.
about that. He was on our show talking about it.
Mhm.
But if you don't know Joe, right? Joe's never done anything half-ass, right? Everything is 150%. Doesn't matter, you know what it is. If it comes to running a dealership or if it comes to climbing a mountain, right? Everything is that much more. So
If he does it 150%, what percentage do I do it?
what? I don't know. Only you can answer that.
I'm thinking like 38.
But Joe's been more or less a professional bike rider for most
Yep.
of his adult life.
He's quite fit.
He's very fit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's conscious about it, but not a freak. You know, at the same time, and he's just energy. You know, it's you know what that reminds me. You know what tomorrow we might do for our part of our sales meeting?
Get our survey money. Is that it?
I have no idea.
Oh,
Um,
shoot.
No, maybe we'll do some calisthenics.
Oh, how about can you just call it stretches?
Get some
How about
blood
some
flowing.
Tai Chi?
Some tight. I don't know Tai Chi, but I know how to do some stretches.
We've got the Apple TV. We could pull up some Apple Fitness and do some meditation.
Right.
That's more my speed.
Yeah. But no, tomorrow's going to be a good busy day.
Yeah, it is.
And
I
we
got
still have a
2
week
cars
left.
going out.
Yeah. Oh, and you got a guy coming in
Yeah.
in the morning time early.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I got, well,
Potentially 3.
yeah, that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Technically 1 and 2 halves. It's okay, though. It's not like it's a Taycan and they take 6 hours to deliver.
Right.
No, I'm excited, though. I think great clients coming in to do some stuff end of year. And it's really fun to show people their new toys.
Yeah.
Because we're the experts. We get to tell you what every button does. And that's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had a call today. I've had 2 things. I had a client that I spent a bunch of time with, but we could never find the right car for him at our store. He bought a brand new car somewhere else because they had it. And that hurts my soul because I want to be the guy that sells every car because I know I'm better. And also I get paid for selling cars. I don't get paid for just showing you everything.
Yep.
And initially I was kind of tweaked on it, but then I was like, it's not his fault we didn't have the car. Let's take care of the guy. So he had asked if there was anybody at the dealership that could show him how to use all the technology. And I said, that falls to the salesperson here. The week of Christmas is usually pretty slow. When would you like to come in? I'd be happy to help.
Sure.
You know, and I don't know. I felt good about that afterward because it matters. Like you're still my client, even if you didn't buy that from me. So let's make sure that you know how to push all the buttons because you'll like it more. And then, you know, but it pisses me off because why didn't the fucking other sales guy do that?
Yeah.
Why didn't he show you where all the stuff is?
Right.
You know, like that's a disservice to the client. So it kind of made me mad. And anyway, not at the client, at the other sales guy.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Well, now we've gone over.
Right.
And I hope the internet comes back at some point and people can watch that.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it recorded it, so it might be on
All right,
YouTube
so we'll
either
just
way.
have to upload it later.
Maybe.
All right. Well, my chestnuts are roasted. And we need to put some more logs on the fire and then have some spicy chicken larb.
And I got to go put some hot sauce on something.
Yep. So, thanks for hanging out in my living room. We got to figure out a way to do it where we can actually get here early and make sure things work.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
next
We'll
year. Next year. We got 365 days ish to plan
it
that. So, thanks to everybody. Good night.
Have a Merry Christmas.